Greetings, greetings. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Recently I just started working more on my podcast, and I just want to bring some healthy alternatives for us, right? Um, Not Western medicine, but natural things that we can do to heal our bodies and to bring balance back into our bodies. So I have been working with Ken Newbill of Newbill Health. Ken has helped me in so many ways over the years, and I'm just so grateful. Even in my inconsistencies, he is always willing to help me, and he hasn't given up on me yet. And so I am just so grateful for him. I'm grateful for his wisdom and his knowledge, his testimony, and his willingness, and the drive that he has for the people to heal, right? And just his knowledge that he shares with me about like healing through whole foods, detoxing, something that we're going to talk about today, which is detoxing for vitality. And so he has an upcoming cleanse, which is a fall equinox cleanse, excuse me, and it is a gallbladder and liver detox. And so I'm going to turn it over to Ken and let Ken tell us a little bit more about the cleanse and the importance of cleansing the gallbladder and the liver.
Well, Shauna, it's always a blessing to see you, sister. I hold you near and dear to my heart. I appreciate the work that you do as not only your own healer, but healing others as well, in your own disciplines with energetics and things of that nature. So, we've known each other for a while now. I think you're one of the first people I met in Monroe that I fell in love with, um, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a heck of a journey, and it's been very good to see you continue to develop yourself and take the actions necessary to keep bettering your health mentally and physically, emotionally, and spiritually, which is what it's all about. It's about the holistic healing ability that we all possess, peeling back the layers necessary in order to put our right foot in front of the left and make this journey. Because there's quite a lot of layers, as I'm sure you found out for yourself, that we have to unravel, whether it be trauma, whether it be food, alcohol, vices, addictions, poor relationships. There's so much that our human existence has to overcome in order to heal and to be in the light that we were promised to be here, which was to be in good standing and health and being fortuitous. It's really hard to do when you feel like garbage every day, when you don't feel like getting up, when you're tired and you don't know why you're tired. You're like, I shouldn't be acting and feeling this old. I'm not 80. Why do I feel like I'm 80? And demoralized from the toxins in the environment, the stresses that we can't see, the EMFs, the electrical magnetic frequencies that we're being bombarded with, the heavy metals that are coming through our foods and our water system, and the forever chemicals that we're challenged with every single day that are showing up higher and higher in our labs these days. Um, but we're going to do something very impactful that the system won't like. And that is, we start going deep and getting out the filth that has been building up in our bodies since we got to planet Earth. The big reason why I am going hard and heavy on liver right now is because people are looking for real answers. They're looking to get something moving in the right direction. And I feel liver is where all roads lead to in the human body. It's one of the first places that we need to course correct that is often never approached. And even a lot of holistic practitioners and naturopaths and holistic doctors, they just don't go down this road. There's probably reasons why they don't. Maybe it's because your clients will actually heal and they won't need you after some time. And my job is to empower the people to get their healing, but to also become independently healthy, meaning that they learn and they educate themselves about their body and how things work and the necessary things that we need to do in the modern world in order to get our bodies realigned appropriately, and to do it with tool sets that are more applicable to the masses. We have a lot of ways we can do things in holistic medicine. It's just that most people won't do them. They're really old school and they're arduous and they don't fit well in the common day-to-day lifestyle that most of us are living, which is a very hectic
Mhm.
lifestyle. And so I formulated my entire practice about meeting the modern men and women with nature, with new technology to give them a bridge to get to healing so that once they do start getting their healing, they can see the benefits so strongly that they'll turn their backs on Western medicine and go truly heal themselves and start doing and adapting a lifestyle that's appropriate for them based on the level of healing that they want. And I think that's so important to get out on the table. Everybody says they want to heal, but have you identified at the level of healing that you want? Because that dictates your actions, right? How far are you willing to go? And you might not know what that is until you take a first step. And that's what a cleanse can really do with the liver is because it will give you very valuable information as you go through that process. And it's something that's not too complicated. We have a very beautiful system. I've been using with clients for many years, and then I adapted it to with some new technology that's based on very old holistic wellness from the East. And so we were able to bring that here to the West, and I've been serving my clients with it ever since I got my hands on it because it took the old, hard, undesirable cleansing methodology and turned it into something that was simple and could be done in a few days. And if you really give it a push, you can do it over a course of a week and still go to work, still handle your business, and get things out of your body that don't belong. You know, Shauna, how many people do you know that no longer have a gallbladder in their body?
Oh, I'm one of them. I am one of them, but I know several people that don't have a gallbladder. They've had it removed.
Yeah,
And every organ in my growth, every organ serves a purpose.
for sure.
Um, and so whenever I did get my gallbladder taken out, I felt like something was missing out of me. Like, so there's an energetic connection too. Like
Yeah.
I really felt like something was missing out of me.
Oh, I 100% believe that. And I've heard that from multiple people that they are
Hmm.
like they knew something was gone. And
Hmm.
I feel sorry for those people that don't feel that because it's something that we should feel and understand because the biggest part about gallbladder removal is you still haven't addressed the root of your issue. And we've created new issues now that the gallbladder is no longer in the body. What's going to take the place of that gallbladder now? There's nothing to do that. And the gallbladder's responsibility is to create and hold a reservoir of ready made bile that's ready to go as soon as you eat. So the liver can cause a squeezing effect to overflow that gallbladder to push that bile out into your small intestines to break down your fats. And it's also going to release toxins through the bile, which is one of the main functions of your liver. And how your liver detoxes is it puts toxins in your bile a little bit at a time so that it doesn't harm you on the way out, number one, and it gets rolled out through your bowel, okay, which is where you want toxins to leave as much as possible. That's the most preferred place for toxins to leave the body is through the bowel. So the bile carries it out into the small intestinal tract and it takes it all downstream until it gets out the body, until you have a bowel movement. So once we no longer have a gallbladder, our diet needs to change. Shauna, did your doctor tell you you needed to change the way you eat at all when you lost your gallbladder? Nope.
Nope.
Did they tell you what supplements you might want to need to take because you no longer have a gallbladder?
The first time I heard about supplements and what I needed to take was from you.
And it's a really bad situation for people because now we have millions and millions of people with no gallbladder. Okay. And these millions of people are going to develop all types of imbalances because they lack that functionality with proper bile flow and abundance, which was their problem that led to the gallbladder getting taken out in the first place was the liver was too congealed probably didn't have the proper amount of minerals in the body. We had a poor diet, lots of toxicity, and it weighed down on our, we started getting congested in the liver. That congestion then rolls over to the gallbladder. We get calcium irregularities, and now we start making stones. We're building up stones in the gallbladder, we're building them up in the kidneys, we're becoming calcified in our soft tissue, leading to things like chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia and all this inflammatory condition in the body. Hormone conversion begins in the liver. So when your liver is not healthy, and I know how many people on this page right now that are dealing with hormonal irregularities, and your endocrinologist and your primary care physician, they're never going to bring up the fact that your liver does about 3/4 of the hormone conversion for your thyroid, and why your thyroid probably still not going to balance out because that thyroid isn't converting appropriately. Maybe it's not transporting appropriately, but that liver serves over 600 functions in the human body alone, from metabolic processes, you name it. And when we have gaps here, we have major issues in our wellness that are going to continue to develop over time, day by day, week by week, month by month, year after year. And this is a hard thing for most people to conceptualize, is how your body is actually going through life. So I'm going to give you a simple way to look at it. When we are born, we are like a brand new sponge just coming out the package. That sponge represents all of your cells and functionality. When I take that brand new sponge out the package, it smells good, right? Probably some fake deodorant in there, but it smells good. It's not rank. All those little holes in the sponges look very uniform and ready to go. As soon as I put that sponge in the sink of water, it just swells up. It soaks all that water in very, very quickly. And when I grab it and squeeze it, it all comes out very easily, and that sponge will dry very quickly. But over time, if you choose to manage your body like I manage sponges, which is not in a good way, my wife does not like it. Because what do I do with sponges? I just throw them back in the sink, right? And sometimes they don't dry out, and it's just sitting in water and muck and gunk in the sink until the dishes get done. And over time, what happens to that sponge? It stops becoming absorbent. The little cells inside of it that were all uniformly shaped are now broken down, disgusting looking, and they're building up maybe mold or fungus or something inside of there. It's starting to get funky, right? Bacteria starting to run amok in there. Imagine you going through life and never cleaning your sponge. That's how you should look at your organ maintenance for your body. Have you ever cleansed your liver, your gallbladder, your kidney, your lungs, which is the biggest filter in your body? Have you cleansed your lungs? You've been breathing for a long time. You've been breathing petroleum, all kind of toxins in the air. Oh, did you smoke? You smoke weed? You smoke cigarettes? You live with someone who smokes? You think all that stuff just gets in and rolls out? It doesn't. It's like the sponge. Some things get released, but as we get older and the more toxins that we take in to our organs, the more they become like that dirty sponge. And now they don't soak up things as well. They don't squeeze out as well. They don't dry out as well. They don't smell as well. It doesn't perform as it should. And so, what a lot of people are linking to age related disease is really toxicity and a lack of performance in their organs that have been degrading over time due to their lifestyle choices. This all comes back to what you're putting into your mouth and what environment you live in at the end of the day. That's what we all come back to. There is nothing special, if you will, about cleansing your organs. It's something that our ancestors did all the time because they understood the relationship between us and food and the seasons of change and how they could keep their body upregulated. Guess what? They did not need to cleanse as much as we do 4 or 5 generations ago because they weren't exposed to as much toxicity as we are today. And so living here in the United States, we eat plastic food, like literally. It's sold in plastic. It's got plastic particles in it and all types of other crazy stuff that we call food, whether it be fast food, seed oils that don't get out the body very well. They end up stuck in your liver because it's a toxin. They end up stuck in your gallbladder, causing more issue over time and over the years. And for those people that like to say, "Oh, I don't need to detox my body. I don't need to cleanse my organs. My body will do that automatically." If that was the case, why are gallbladder surgeries in the top 5 elective surgeries right now? If that was the case, why are um, colon surgeries super high in this country? Top 10 surgery. Men and women getting their colons cut out. Could that be related to your diet, maybe? Could that be related to the toxicities that are getting in your body and can't get out because we are full of toxemia? Because the longer that you're on this planet, and God bless you, the longer that you can stay here, you have a chance to course correct what imbalances you have ensued. But you can't balance this with medication, right? You can't balance this with just a supplement. You've actually got to go and maneuver to expunge the filth from your organs, from your filters, if you will, and renew yourself. You know, the liver is very special because when you clean it up, it regenerates new tissue. Psoriasis can be healed in the liver, the scarring that happens from alcoholism and too much sugar in the diet, right? So the longer that we delay getting to this part of our maintenance, the more we will suffer, period. And you'll be throwing darts at every functional nutritionist and naturopath and holistic doctor and health coach and trying to figure out all the things. But if you have not addressed your organs and purged them, because here's the deal about the liver cleanse. Liver cleansing for someone who's just starting needs to become a way of life for a period of time, especially if you're a millennial to a boomer, because we have been on the planet over 40 years. And if you have not serviced your filters, your organs in 40 plus years in the United States, I can't talk about any place else in the world, but I know this country very well. I think I've been to 47 of these states. And we have a very duplicable culture from state to state and city to city. Everything is copy stamp. We're all eating the same crap from East Coast to West Coast for the most part. And we're working off the same logistical supply chain of food, which means we're dealing with the liver impact on every toxin you're coming in contact with every day of your life. That liver is number one in defending you from those toxins and poisons that are coming in. It has to see them, identify them, store them, and transfer them to places and get them out the body when possible. But as much toxins as we take in, the liver can't release them all at the same time, or we'd likely die. So, maintenance. We have to cleanse, we have to purge the filth, we have to open up the opportunity for regeneration and function. You know, the bile controls the pH balance of your intestinal tract. So all those people out there who are struggling with Crohn's, diverticulitis, IBD, IBS, all these inflammatory gut conditions, it likely started at the liver. And its pH balance started to not regulate appropriately. And it couldn't get the bile to flow as it should. And now it can't break down food as it should. And now you're starting to see greasy film in your stool at the top of the water. And all of your stools are floating because fat floats, because you're not breaking down your fat. Your bile acts a lot like Dawn liquid soap. You remember those commercials, Shauna, back in the day when they would drop a drop of Dawn in the dish soap, and then the dish soap would just dissipate into nothing. All the grease would go away. Well, the grease didn't leave the sink. It just got broken down into small molecules. The grease is still in there. And then now you've got some detergent agent to help you continue to wash in that greasy water. Well, bile acts the same way against fat in your body. When it sees the fat and it interacts with that fat, it breaks it down to very small molecules that the body can understand and utilize and absorb in the intestinal tract if it's positive fats that we can actually use, and not trans fats and things like that that provide more oxidative damage and stress to the human body. I have seen so many beautiful things happen to people that go through liver cleansing and they continue to work on that part of their anatomy. In fact, I would pretty much bet my life on anyone who's been struggling with chronic conditions for more than 10 years likely would improve their condition. I don't even care what it is if they started cleansing their liver because it is kind of like one of the most important organs in the human body because the job that it does is very big. It's always working. It's always thinking and calculating what type of choices you're going to make in order to just prepare bile for the meal that you're eating to make sure it's at the right concentration level. It's very smart, very intelligent organ that we're still finding more and more out about. And it's one of the things that I choose to focus on, especially at the beginning of working with my clients, to focus on this part because so many beautiful things happen. We do that in combination with deep gut cleansing. And man, don't you know, we're about 50 to 80% there where we need to go. We already found out the root causes. We already started unclogging the pipes and getting things to circulate and operate as they're supposed to, so your organs can actually serve you appropriately.
Mhm.
And that's what it's really all about. If we're not getting that done, guys, we're wasting time, we're wasting resources, we're wasting money, and we're wasting all the frustration that we're having literally with ourself. So this is one of the pathways, one of the most direct pathways of focus to bring the body back into alignment because it sits center stage in our health and it can't be ignored. Everything from hormone regulation to enzyme production, you name it. There's so much going on. So who do you think, what do you think would be some of the symptoms of someone who needs to cleanse their liver?
Acne, digestive issues, um, if you angry because your
Oh yeah.
emotions and stuff ties in, anger is associated with the liver, resentment. So if you have any like emotional issues or you just angry,
Oh yeah.
it's good to detox the liver. The digestive problems, fa-
Here, those are
fatigue,
those are good. Fatigue.
fatigue, and high
Yes.
blood pressure. Um,
It keeps going. It's so many.
yes,
It's
yes.
so many. Like this is the epicenter
Mhm.
of so many symptoms in the human body. You talked about skin issues. That could be like your skin is starting to yellow, like you're getting jaundice because you're literally building up bilirubin. That's a waste product that the liver usually processes and eliminates, and it can't do it when we're in jaundice state. Some people have the yellowing in their eyes. You said fatigue, absolutely. Those folks out there that are dealing with this constant abdominal swelling and pain. Sometimes people eat and they start to feel pain on the right side of their body, right underneath their right rib cage. That's inflammation of the gallbladder or the bile duct that a lot of people are having from eating things that their body can no longer support to eat because the system's broken down. People that are constantly dealing with nausea and vomiting, um, very dark urine, or very pale or very pale stool, because darkened urine increases uh, when that bilirubin that I was speaking about before, when those levels keep increasing in the blood. And that very pale clay colored stool, that tells the story that the bile flow from the liver has been obstructed. So we're not breaking down those fats appropriately. This is a big contribution to people, especially, I see a lot of cases of women that have edema below the hips, all the swelling, the fluid retention, especially in the legs and the ankles, very commonplace as a symptom for liver imbalance and improper function, as well as a lack of ability to break down proteins, right? What's some more? Mental confusion, memory problems. When
Mhm.
we get really toxic from liver dysfunction, that starts to build up things in our body like ammonia. That ammonia is what gets up here to create brain fog, okay? Confusion, mood changes. poor concentration. Some people, believe it or not, actually have, and this is not good when I see this, when some people come here and they're like, Ken, I need to gain weight. They
Mm.
haven't been able to build muscle. They can't sustain their weight, and they're just wasting away. That can have a direct axis and correlation to poor liver health, unexplained weight loss, or muscle wasting. As the liver function deteriorates, this can occur. People who are getting drunk without drinking alcohol. Ever know anyone who's tried to quit drinking alcohol, and they just struggle and struggle and struggle, even though they're like, I've been doing great, and all of a sudden, I mean, I'd had one beer and I was just hammered, and I started drinking more and more. Well, that's because that liver's been in balance for so long that you're literally, the foods you're eating at this point are just making a bunch of alcohol in your body, and it's affecting you because your liver can't metabolize it. Because a lot of the things that we eat that aren't real food come with these processed sugars and things that cause us to create alcohol in our body. That's a normal process. It's just not good when we can't metabolize our own onboard alcohol creation due to that lack of liver strength and ability that's been degrading. Um, and then, of course, there's the people that may even see, like, the flushed face and rosacea symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
right? Spider-like veins and blood vessels. You ever seen people like that? I see those people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they always look like, they're jolly, like they're Jolly Kris Kringle, right? Always looking flushed and red, and swollen noses that start to grow over time. That's all direct liver correlation right there. So, a lot of people are, we're going into a very tough time of year, right? We're going into the holiday conundrum part of the year, right? We've got Halloween coming, we've got Thanksgiving coming, we've got Christmas coming, we've got New Year's coming, right? And every one of these are sequenced to allow you to do silly things to your body that are going to probably cause you to catch a cold or a flu, or you're going to create a cold or a flu through these next seasons. And then we'll get to the new year, people are going to be like, oh my God, I need to get myself together. New year, new me. If you want a new year, new you, get a new liver. It'll support all that other stuff that you think you're going to do. It'll actually make it easier. If you know that you need to get on a weight loss journey, if you know you need to start eating healthier, kicking off a cleanse like this can set you in motion, because we're going to coach you and counsel you through this for a solid week, every day of the week. We're going to hit you up and we're going to do these protocols together. I'll be doing one as well. Okay. I'm a firm believer in leading from the front. Okay. It's what I'm about. I exemplify what I talk about and I execute it. And I've already done 3 liver cleanses this year. I'll do another one, right? That's how important they are, and why I say this is one of the most formidable places that people should be focusing on cleansing over and over and over again, because there's layers and layers and layers of filth and malfunction and imbalance in your liver. I know people that have done 30 to 40 liver cleanses over the course of 2 years. Okay. And they have literally, I know one lady who went from almost 6 degrees of spinal articulation with multiple sclerosis. She kept cleansing her liver, and now she's at 1%
Mm.
now. She's at 1% now. She's almost got a perfect spine. Tell me the body can't heal again? Yeah, the body can heal when you give it the proper inputs and you allow it to operate as it was intended to operate. It's just that most of us have no idea how your body was intended to operate. We have no idea of the level of impact a fake cheeseburger can do to you. Okay? That fake cheese, that's not digesting in the human body. All those chemicals in that bread that you're eating, that's going straight to your liver. That is not getting out the human body. We're going to hold on to those toxins. Okay? That's how the liver protects you. Because if those toxins run amok in your bloodstream and you change the pH of your blood to any massive degree over 3 points, you're either going into a coma or you're leaving here. You're leaving this place. That's how critical this liver is to your survival and thrival. Make this a key place of focus for a year in your life, you'll be a whole new person. And I'm not even kidding you. You make this a key focus of simply focusing on your liver and then getting to the gut and getting all that stuff cleaned up. It's going to help you overcome your addictions to the crap that's killing you. It's going to help support your transition in a more abundant fashion to allow you to release weight better. Because as you release waste, you will release weight. So first you go through waist loss, which should be your primary focus. So if you're overweight, I was morbidly obese. I was well over 300 pounds 15 years ago. I'm 5'10". I'm a big boy. Okay. Once I understood waist loss, I got weight loss. So I got the waste out, and now my cells have released all this waste, and now I can start reprogramming my body metabolically to function as it should with less obstruction, less confusion, less inflammation in the body, less workload for my body. So now my body could now walk around at 175, 180. I dropped all the way down to 155 from like 315. So I've lost over 125 pounds on my journey. And I didn't do it without focusing on being healthy. I had to change my mindset 14 years ago, right? I was 38. I had just had a heart attack. I was trying to pull myself together, and I'm walking around this really big body that I did not need. I did not need to be that big. Okay. My back was very swollen. And so I started making these changes gently over time. I wasn't even in this as a professional. I was just like anybody else on this call right now, except 14 years ago, we didn't have access like we do today to all these great people out on the internet where you can reach out and touch them and get information and do great things. So take advantage. If you're not in my group, jump into my group. It's called Cleanse Within, and it's with a Z. Cleanse with a Z, no E, within. Go there. Getting in the group is free. In fact, when we're doing this cleanse, I'm not charging anybody for this cleanse. You're just paying for your stuff. That's it. Okay? Because that's how important this is to me, is because I see this move mountains for people, and it really opens up a lot with hormonal balancing. People have been struggling for a long time, GERD and heartburn issues, all the digestive issues we talked about, constipation, skin rashes, rosacea, dandruff, all the things. Okay. This is a pinnacle opportunity of focus, and everybody needs to get in on it. Okay. Because everybody is getting up on these. You don't want to be the guy or the gal this weekend or next weekend sitting at the hospital and a doctor's talking to you about removing your gallbladder, because that's how fast it happens. You end up there in pain. You don't know what's going on. They get you on that table and you're in fear. And then they're telling you, oh, you've also got pancreatitis. All your numbers are elevated for your pancreas. Of course it is, because your pancreas is in direct association with your gallbladder. So once your gallbladder is all inflamed, trying to pass that stone that it can't pass through that congealed and built up bile duct from all the lack of bile flow and mismanagement in the body for so long, you get inflamed and you're in pain. Nothing in that area is happy. Okay. But you're not going to die. The
I
worst
got a
thing.
question.
Yeah.
So, so you're saying like the liver, like, okay, so also, what about women that's going through menopause? Because, I know a lot of women that's going through menopause. And so, people are bringing an awareness now about like menopause, and, just how many women are going through it, the symptoms. I mean, just it's something,
I
right?
mean,
It is,
isn't it?
menopause is a big deal. And it
It is
is.
a big deal. And it's
Yes.
also very interesting in the fact that many women around the world don't experience menopause symptoms.
It's
Nearly,
just here because of our diet.
it's because of our environment.
Oh.
We don't, not everybody, not all cultures experience this degradation of function in the body simply because you get into a new season of being a woman. But what are all the things that you've been doing your entire life that you haven't changed that have brought you to this certain stage of your life? And now that your hormones start to shift, the whole damn ship is sinking. Because that's how women in America menopause feel. Because I work with
Mm-hmm.
mainly women over
Mm-hmm.
40.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not any, I was just having this conversation with two clients today, both of them over 40, one's in her mid 50s, and she's fighting about, getting on, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Now, it's not the end game. She has all of her organs. She's got a thyroid, she's got all of the things that she needs to literally bring herself back in balance. But there's this promise of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy that this is going to be the cat's meow and solve all of her problems. And I said, well, you've got a couple ways you can look at this. You can keep on your journey to heal, which you're doing very good at, and your body's responding appropriately, or you can go chase the quick fix. And you can be like every other woman I know who's on hormone replacement therapy and not getting the goods.
Mm.
They might get some temporary relief here or there, but then the weight starts coming up. And then next thing you know, they go back and see their endocrinologist in 6 months to a year. And they're like, oh, by the way, we need to give you another hormone. In fact, we need to change that hormone to a pellet. We're just going to inject this into your body and just let these hormones release. This is not getting to the root cause of your issue whatsoever. This is avoiding the work that you need to do to repair, replenish, and regenerate. You are a human being, which means you are a self replicating bio machine. We are making new cells all the time. We are new people every 7 years. Now, which version do you want to be? Do you want to be a stronger version in 7 years or a weaker version of yourself in 7 years? All that's dictated by our actions in serving ourselves with self love type of work to do this deep foundational work. This is deep foundational stuff. And it's easier to do than ever in history. I used to do old school liver cleanses. They're hard and they suck and they taste nasty. Okay. And dealing with all that Epsom salt, that stuff burns your butt. I don't like that either. Okay. But I've done them, but I found something better and it's more appropriate for the average modern human in my country who is not a fan of pain, not a fan of discomfort, right? Not a fan of inconvenience. We want to do it all the time. This is the best approach that you're going to find to get the best results in the shortest amount of time to start initiating the release of the buildup that you've been putting in with every bucket of fried chicken, every trip to the fast food restaurant, with all the toxins and chemicals coming through from your good restaurants, sit down restaurants. They're using crap ingredients too, okay? Because it's all about profit margin at the end of the day. And our country allows it to happen because they don't love you. So they allow you to be poisoned every single day of your life. You can walk into any store in this country and find poison to put into your face. Okay. That's just, it's very hard to find non poisonous food to put in your face. So I'm really trying to stack the deck for you to understand what you're up against because you can't run from this. It's caught you already. You're experiencing all these symptoms and you know you haven't addressed it. You've never done a cleanse. You're scared of the word cleanse. And more importantly, you've never done anything particular for your liver. So those menopausal ladies, I'm going to give you a cool little story about one of my first menopause clients where I was showing her how she was experiencing menopause symptoms. So we started working together 6 years ago, 7 years ago when I started full time in my craft. And we started working on our foods. We started getting the alcohol down in the diet. We got the sugar down in the diet. After 60 days, she was sleeping without hot sweats. No more hot sweats. No more migraine headaches. Those hormonal migraine headaches, gone. All the bowels are flowing and moving as they should. Things are good. Inflammation is down in the body. I think she released over 25 pounds
Mm.
without exercising in 60 days. But she was a traveling executive. So about once or twice a quarter, she would have to take trips. And a lot of people, when they take business trips, their favorite part about doing that is what, Shauna? What do you think is most people's favorite part about going on a business trip where they have to travel?
The food and the drinks.
Boom. So we talked about her pre-plan strategy before she went. She blew it. I expected it because she was only 60 to 75 days into her journey. First trip. Old habits don't die easy. She hadn't had a menopause symptom in over a month, not one. She came back from that trip 7 pounds heavier. Migraine headaches are back. Constipation is back. Night sweats are back. And I said, well, I guess you just found out why you have menopausal symptoms.
Mm.
She's like, what? I said, could it be the alcohol and the crap food and all the things and the lack of sleep and on and on and on? I said, you put yourself back in that situation. You've just educated yourself about how you could live menopause symptom free if you chose to.
Mm.
It's a choice, right? We hadn't even cleansed her liver yet. We hadn't even done that work and she was out of menopausal symptoms, but we stopped stressing her liver with all the sugar and processed foods and the alcohol.
Mm.
Because most people don't want to admit that they're alcoholics just because they drink 1 or 2 glasses of something every night of the week. And we don't even, most people will never truly get this. One drink of alcohol a day, one beer, one tequila sunrise. That was my drink back in the day. I was a tequila drinker, right? One shot, that's going to destroy your microbiome. That's going to ruin your bacterial balance in your gut. It's going to cause lots of problems. Alcohol, we all know it's not safe, right?
Mm.
We do know alcohol is not safe. I know y'all don't like to hear it because we all like to party, but at some point you got to grow up. And it is just a fact. It shouldn't be the go-to high that most people like to get. But we don't have to live menopausally. And I've proven it with clients over and over and over again. Your body was not built to be here in misery. That was not the promise you were given. That's still a choice once you're educated and you know what you need to do. You may not like what you need to do because it's quite a lot of change. It's quite a lot of acceptance of the reality of the world that we live in to know that you have a lot of diabolical things masquerading as food in our system, masquerading as clean water in our system, masquerading as healthy for you. And so we take the bait and we're being obliterated. And it shows. Just look around. Anyone on this call, I bet you don't know 5 extremely healthy people. 5 extremely healthy people. No medications, no symptoms. They're in their 40s and 50s. Look around. How many people? Not overweight, not obese, not diabetic, not pre-diabetic, not high cholesterol, not high blood pressure, none of that. How many people do you know like that in your life?
Mm.
Everybody's out here struggling. That's the real deal. I see it because I can face map. So I see disease everywhere when I go in public. And I'm not trying to see it, I'm just trained to see it, right?
Mm.
So we can play with it or we can get with it. And I'm a Gen Xer. I'm from the get with it era. We go do things, right? We go actually do things. We go kick the door down and we get things done. So if you're enticed to do that, if this is starting to hit some notes with you, wherever you are, just know we have a week-long journey that we're going to support and nourish ourselves. We're going to take a solitude vacation. We're going to eat all the juices and the smoothies and the herbal teas and the things that support proper liver development. And we're going to cleanse that liver and gallbladder. We're going to start that journey. And you're going to see what your ability is. You're going to see how your body kicks in when you treat it right. And all the cool things are going to happen over the course of that week. And you're going to find out some very valuable information about yourself, about what you're addicted to,
Mm.
about how much better you thought you were going to do, how much better you did on this than you thought you were going to do. Everybody thinks this stuff is harder than what it really is. And that's why I was happy to do this talk, because you got to get here, guys. It's much harder to live in suffrage your whole life than it is to go do some maintenance work for a little short amount of time
Mm-hmm.
and then start working on your lifestyle adjustments, because you're going to learn based on what comes out of you, what's going on inside of you from the choices that you made that went in your mouth, because I'm going to help you understand it. We're going to post pictures of what comes out of us so we can talk about the imbalance. What is internal dampness? What does lack of biocongeniality mean? All these types of things that we can look at by the color and texture. Some people are going to see parasites coming out their liver in this cleanse. They're going to see eggs coming out their liver in this cleanse, possibly. So it's a big educational moment that wakes you up to the reality of how your body actually works and how it doesn't. These assumptions that what we put in here is like a garbage disposal. We eat stuff, it's just like a garbage disposal. We just gobble everything up and it's just going to come out the back end. Man, if that was a real fruit, okay, yep, it's going to do that. If that was a real vegetable, it's going to do that. Even if that's animal protein, it's going to do that. Okay. But as soon as we start getting away from natural food, and even understanding some natural foods' ability to become toxic in the human body based on how we combine our foods or how we cook these foods. And remember, cooked food cooks you. So I know a lot of people don't want to go raw, but always remember, cooked food will cook you, because all cooked food becomes acidic in the human body. Can't get away from it. I think of cooked food like spoiling your food on purpose. You're decomposing it rapidly with heat. You ever seen a compost pile in a garden or in a farm?
Mm-hmm.
You ever put your hand inside of it during the summertime? You can cook things in a compost pile. It gets so hot in there when things are breaking down, right? Acidity inside the body is fire. I call acidity inside the body, this inflammation thing, I call that the living hell of existence, because you literally are inflamed. You are on fire from the foods that you're putting in, or food like substances that you're putting in, and you've been leading a too high acidic lifestyle for too long, and your body is breaking down. You're decomposing. All that inflammation is decomposition. That's why your body goes to the rescue to try to put the fire out by pulling calcium into your areas of inflammation where there's mucus and pus buildup to try to extinguish the fire. But then you don't change your life. So the body keeps pulling more calcium into that area. And next thing you know, now your joints is all poppity and rickety. You start having more hormonal issues. You start having malabsorption issues in your cellular sites that you can't even pull in your nutrients and your hormones appropriately. And you cause a lot of confusion and lack of ability of flow. We become calcified. Now everything hurts, right? So doing this is a great jump off. It's a great opportunity. What other questions can I answer for you? I want to feel like I'm just rambling on here, and I want people to get great value out of our time. You got something else on that list of yours, Shauna?
Types of foods, so like, so what type of foods and supplements? Now, I do know like milk thistle is good to support the liver.
Mm-hmm.
Red clover uh is good for the liver, but like, what type of foods? I know you did, I mean, you can't go wrong with raw, right? But do you
Well, I
know?
think with I think with raw, especially if you're not eating raw right
Hmm.
now, so you don't eat a raw diet right away. Um, you wouldn't want to start with vegetables. Vegetables would probably be very hard because your gut's probably not adapted to break that stuff down, right? Your microbiome is probably very imbalanced, and it's going to take time for your gut to get used to those type of things. So start with fruits. If you're going to start eating, including more raw food in your lifestyle, start with fruits. And you can start with your non-sweet fruits too, like cucumbers, tomatoes, avocado. You can start with a bitter melon. That's like an Asian cucumber that you can get, very great for diabetes and lowering inflammation in the body. Um, Beets. I'm not a huge beet fan, but beets in moderation can help instill flow in that area of the body. But let's talk a little bit about some supplements, right? Let's talk about Shisandra berry. That's an herb. That one's used to protect the liver, and it helps promote detox. It reduces inflammation, and it prevents liver damage, which means it can help reverse it. Okay. Another one,
Chisandra,
Shisandra berry.
Chisandra berry.
CSHIS. Let me do this. I think I have some ability here to do this. So I'm gonna do this on the stream. So let me do this real quick. Boom. And so we'll talk about that one first. So I'll show that one. Shishandra
Okay.
berry. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is an herbal that we can uh, put together. The next one that I would definitely like people to see to improve your bowel flow, right? So if you know that you've got those yellow grayish stools coming out, you see a lot of grease film on the top of your water when you go poop, your poops are floating. Artichoke leaf that can support your liver health because it increases that bowel flow and production. That's going to help your digestion and fat metabolism. It's also an antioxidant that helps relieve the liver from oxidative damage and stress. Let's put that one up. Boom. There's the next one, artichoke leaf. Okay. After artichoke leaf, let's
I'm looking
talk
for.
about one of my favorites. It's in your yard somewhere. If you got a nice yard, a yard that still has weeds in it. Um, those are my favorite yards with weeds, because you probably have some medicine in there in that yard. This is dandelion root. I did not say leaf, dandelion root for the liver. Okay. So you go dig you up some dandelions, or they're pretty easy to find. And guess what? Because you're using the root, you don't have to be overly concerned with any of the pesticides that people may be spraying around it. Okay, that's probably going to be on the surface level. So you can get down there and get to that dandelion root. Get a shovel, because the dandelion root is long and deep. So dig deep, go get your root. You can make teas with it. You can dry it out, make teas. You can throw it in a smoothie. Lots of ways you can juice that root. But that dandelion root is a strong remedy for liver and gallbladder health. It's going to give a mild diuretic effect. And that diuretic effect is one of the same things that this liver cleanse does. It dilates that bile duct. So it starts opening it up so things can get out and flow better. So we increase that bile flow and production. And it's going to help that liver process and purge more toxicity out. Can't have this conversation uh, and ignore good old turmeric. Some good fresh turmeric is another beautiful herb for this situation because of curcumin. It's got that anti-inflammatory, antioxidant support. Um, that's going to help reduce that inflammation in the liver. It's going to increase that fat metabolism. And it's excellent for those people that are dealing with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So it can help you reverse some of those conditions. Of course, you got to stop doing the things that caused it, right? So this will actually help you overcome. And yes, you did say milk thistle. Let's go ahead and put that one up there, because milk thistle, I think it's one of the most popular ones
It is.
for the liver. And then
Mm-hmm.
after that one, it's typically dandelion. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a compound in milk thistle that makes it so special called silymarin. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what protects those liver cells and promotes liver regeneration, as well as antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties to it. But this one's always this. I recommend milk thistle literally every day, right? Um, I think most people should be doing the milk thistle at least 2 or 3 times a week, just to support their daily lifestyle, even if they're on game, even if you're quote unquote healthy. This is one of those herbs that you should probably be putting on just a few times a week on a maintenance schedule, just to keep yourself ahead of the game and supporting that liver, for your entire life. Just love it, love it, love it. Really get in there and help it out.
Also, so since you talked about the gallbladder and the gallstones,
Hmm.
too, can't the liver produce stones too?
Oh yeah, and that's what's really interesting is if you have gallstones,
Uh-huh.
you have liver stones.
And if you don't have a gallbladder, you probably got liver stones.
Because remember, when we took the gallbladder out, we didn't get to the root of any problem except maybe
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm in pain, rip out the pain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But did the doctor tell you how you got gallstones? Nope. Tell you how to get rid of them? Nope, except cut them out. Yeah, how can I not make gallstones? I had the same problem 3 years in a row leading up to my heart attack. So at 34, I started having kidney stone every year because my diet was crap, right? But no doctor, every time I went in there, all I got was a shot of morphine and passed that
Mm-hmm.
stone in the hospital. That was it. So by my second one, I was just like walking in pain and going, get me the morphine. Because at the very first conversation, I'd asked that doctor, how do I avoid kidney stones? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, you don't know, but you guys are helping me get rid of it, but they're not really helping you get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. They were just giving me they're just giving me some drugs to overcome the pain. They're just giving me pain relief. And morphine is awesome, by the way. It definitely felt good. Um, Took me on a little trip, but that's not how you want to live life. You don't want to be giving birth every year. Um, so yeah, we have to absolutely look into the long game here. The liver is all about the long game. You want longevity. You want to be healthy into your 90s. Be here over 100, and like still moving and doing things and hanging out with your family and going, still getting invited to things because they're not a burden. Um, this is real life stuff. We're up here. We're not babies on this call. So we're talking about what do you want for the rest of your life? Because you see the model, like the standard model is you're 50 and you feel like you're 75. The standard model is people are ripping out your intestines, they're taking your gallbladder, they're cutting out stomachs now. People are getting the bariatric surgeries that are wrecking their guts. We're taking all these medications that are poisoning us more and more. Our skin is looking like we just old as dirt for no good reason. So you know what the standard program is. The question is, are you willing to create a new path for yourself? And are you willing to invest in yourself to do it? The time, the money, the energy, the focus. Yeah, it takes an investment. Um, but it's worthy because it's you, it's for you. So, I think personally, people need a good reason to get up and get moving. And this is just one of those things that you can do. Not that difficult. I ain't asking you to run nowhere. We're just going to modify some things in your life for about a week. And after that week is over, you're going to feel different in a better way. Everyone always does. New good things happen. And you'll get better correlation of understanding about the state of your wellness and how things are really going on inside of you.
So I'm
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I used to cleanse a lot, um, and just me just doing my work on myself, and like dealing in the past, like like with liver issues, having to go get like a liver biopsy to see if I had like the non-alcoholic fatty liver, or so. And then not just that, but just like just liver in trauma or the liver in anger, and I just realized, like in that during those times, I was angry, right? I
Yeah.
was going through some stuff, right? And I was just angry. And so during this cleanse also, it is a forgive cleanse. So I'm going to be forgiving myself and I'm
Absolutely.
going to be forgiving other people. And I'm already working on that. So,
That's
I'm doing
beautiful.
a whole Ho'oponopono prayer, right?
Yes.
And so when I went on the site, it says it is I forgive. That's what the cleanse is. So, that's what I'm working on. So I'm looking forward to cleansing, not just on a physical level, but, on the spiritual level too,
We
right?
got to bring it
Because
all together. We got
yeah,
to bring
it
it
all
all together.
mind, body, and spirit. And I'm really grateful. I was telling my friends about it. I'm just grateful to be in the energy of this, right? Because doing it as a group, it is easier. And I'm just looking forward to what's to come. And
Could you
out of
imagine? Could you imagine how we could shift the energy of Charlotte in the Charlotte metro alone if we had 100 people
mm,
cleanse their liver and
mm,
they're connected to 200 people?
mm,
What would that influence of their journey be on all those other people if they say, oh my God, I did this thing, I'm feeling different, I'm feeling a little better, I saw some things, I learned some things, you got to do this, right?
mm,
We got to stop playing around with these things that we've been doing because we're in a lot worse situation than we think we are. You,
mm,
when you start to cleanse your body, you start to see things that coroner examiners see on a regular basis. They see how filthy the internal workings of the human body is, how compacted the bowels are, how big the livers are that are full of all this gunk and funk that has been building up in the body forever that contributed to their demise, right? So you start to see that coming out, and it literally builds some new perspective about the choices you make. Because you
mm,
will go, wait a minute, that's not going to get out of me. That's going to stick. So some of them things that we said we eat, them stick to your rib meals, they've been sticking to your organs,
mm,
sticking to your liver, your gallbladder, your intestinal tract, your cells. All this gooey, gunky, acidic filth is populating all throughout your body. And the deeper you go, the better you become and the younger you will be.
mm,
Period, point blank. I am 52 years old on Earth in Earth years as of a week ago, right? A week and a half ago. And I am blessed to move like I'm in my 30s. I feel great. I have a lot of energy, and I didn't get here overnight, you know, but I started taking the proper route. And that's first truly becoming honest about the environment that we live in and stop placating it, just being real about it. I did it all, guys. I was a nicotine addict. I was alcoholic. Um, Smoked a lot of stuff that I didn't have no business smoking. I've done it all. That's why I have no judgment. My job is to make sure that we have an opportunity for those that want to overcome because it is doable. It's nowhere near impossible. It's not even that difficult when you know the proper path to go. The question is, will you do it? Will you look yourself in the face knowing there's an opportunity and ignore it? Or will you accept the work that you know you haven't done and that you know is never going to get better? You can't cleanse a liver just eating better. That stuff ain't releasing any. You know how long that might take? It might take a lifetime if you're already 40 plus years old and you think you're just going to get that liver right by just eating. That could take you a lot of years. And more than likely, it will never happen because the liver never stops working and the environments that we in are still bombarded with toxicity, right? Do we forget that we breathe petroleum every day? Like we just get in traffic and breathe petroleum burning every day of our life. Your liver has to contend with that. We're dealing with all the stuff coming through the water and the food and the clothing and your hygiene products. Your liver's dealing with all of that. Okay. All the glyphosates and the DDTs and the stuff they're spraying on our food, your liver's dealing with that. That is the epicenter for toxicity in the body. And so if you're not cleansing your liver, it's probably stopped cleansing you.
Mm.
It's not working as effective as it should or as it could. And that's the bottom line. Did you want to hear some foods before we go?
Yeah, let's talk about some foods.
So let's talk about some foods that can help the liver out. Good old cilantro and parsley are going to help protect the liver cells. We know a lot of people try to leverage these also for heavy metal detoxification benefits. Um, Dandelion greens. I know we talked about the root earlier, but these will also help as well. Um, Green tea, if you can tolerate it. Not everybody can tolerate green tea. I can't. It really drops my blood pressure. And that's loaded with antioxidants to support function, inflammation, um, reduction, and fat buildup, preventing fat buildup. Apples, which are also really good for the kidneys because of the pectin that's in the apples. But for the kidneys, it's the malic acid that's in the apples that the kidneys like, but the liver likes the pectin that's in the apples. That's just a type of soluble fiber that helps move toxins from the digestive tract, and it helps the liver's detoxification process work better. You know, a lot of people drink coffee in the morning to be alert. One apple can do the same thing, can help people be more alert. Um, Avocados, literally because they have compounds in them that reduce liver damage, but they also are rich in glutathione. And your liver is the powerhouse production center of glutathione, which is one of the most powerful antioxidants in the human body to help clean up your cells, protect your liver, and it's a major part of detoxification. Okay. So when you clean up your liver, you're cleaning up and upregulating your potentiality in your immune protective measures in the body because you're accelerating the potential for glutathione production. Okay. Now, part of one of the things that we do in the cleanse is I'll be doing coffee enemas during the cleanse because coffee enemas help that liver upregulate glutathione. And by doing that, you can decrease any potential detox or Herxheimer reactions, symptoms that you're going to feel because you're literally cleaning the blood with the glutathione upregulation. Every 3 minutes, all the blood in your body goes through your liver. So if it's hitting that liver and that glutathione production is up, it's out there cleaning out all the garbage, helping support the efforts that you're taking so that you can heal, so that you can get this cleanse, and so that you can reduce this toxicity load in the body and help protect yourself. Um, we got to talk about berries, man. We got to be heavy on the berries. Berries are loaded with anthocyanins, more antioxidants to help protect that liver, the liver cells from damage, driving down that oxidative stress and supports liver regeneration. And after that, back that up with some grapefruits because they're high in vitamin C and narogenin, and that protects the liver, reducing inflammation, preventing oxidative damage, and burning liver fat more efficiently. Okay. We talked a little bit about beets earlier, a little garlic. If you can tolerate leafy greens like arugula, that'll be pretty good. Some cruciferous vegetables will help in the detoxification process because of the sulfur compounds like cabbage and broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, if you're into eating those things. If you're not into eating those things, we gave you a list of a lot of other things you could do. Okay. So I'll end it there. We could go on probably for another 20, 30 foods and things. Um, but I want to thank everybody for joining. I know we just went over about an hour of here. Hopefully you guys found value in this. But again, get over to the Cleanse Within Facebook group. That's Cleanse Within with the Z. I'll type that here just for those people who are still hanging out. And for anybody watching the replay, we'll get that up just so you can see it and know where you need to go. And time is of the essence. If you want to join us on the 22nd, get into that group. you can go ahead and get the information. You can just ask for the information, make a post in there and go, hey, I want the information to get started. No problem. We'll get it to you. No issues. But we need to get our kits ordered in the next 72 hours so that we can guarantee we're going to have everything that we need to start on the 22nd. Okay? Because we've got some non-business days in there that we can't count for shipping necessarily. But hopefully everybody will be on time and get the things that they need. The group is growing. I think we're well over 300 people in the group now. I think we've added about 50 people in the last week or so, which is great. So more education, fulfillment. Again, there's nothing, no cost to join the group. There's no cost for the actual my time for that week at all. And you're only buying the tools that you need, which are all outlined for you in your instructions if you choose to go that route. In fact, I can drop that link here. So give me just 1 second, and that way we'll be complete. And everybody will know exactly where to go, what to do, and all the good things. Really set this off. Get ready now. You know you're going into a tough part of year. Set yourself up for success if you don't want to repeat the same things you do year after year, same failures year after year. Go clean up your body, get on a different path so you're ready to go. Um, Here's all the instructions for cleanse. If I could type. And that's it. Anything, any other closing remarks, Shauna?
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you for sharing and the collaboration. And I'm just grateful for what I've learned tonight. I do know a lot of stuff, right? I know.
You do.
Yes. And so it's just, putting all that into action. And I'm just grateful for Ken again. And I'm looking forward to doing the cleanse and what's to come. So if you've never cleansed your liver, or your gallbladder, then you should do it. If you have gallbladder issues, then you should do it. If you don't have a gallbladder, it's even more important that you cleanse and you know, and also release the anger, right?
Let it
And
go.
so that's a part of cleansing the liver too. So working on our emotions and incorporating the foods to help us work through that.
Because it's
So I'm
coming. The
grateful
emotional,
again.
you can't
Huh?
avoid the emotional part. It comes for everybody. Listen, I
Right.
have literally
Right.
walked grown men through this in tears. It's okay.
Yes.
We got a lot of
Yes.
built up trauma. The liver is a huge trauma center in the human body. And when you physically start maneuvering this to a better state, the body wants it gone. And so you've got
Yeah.
to process it. And it's okay. You're still a man. You're still a grown woman. You ain't no baby. We may be dealing with some baby stuff that we never got rid of from our childhoods. But this is part of your success. This is part of your journey of recognizing your whole potential here and not just the surface level stuff, but the deep stuff about who and
Yes.
what you really are and how this opportunity that we exist in actually prefers to be, what it prefers to live off of, how it prefers to move, and what type of maintenance it's going to take to reverse conditions. You know, I have helped 4 people this year literally get out of the hospital and save their gallbladders. They called me from the hospital. I've had clients who have referred their friends to me who had friends of theirs literally at the hospital who are being threatened to have their gallbladder removed. And we've saved 4 so-called emergency gallbladder surgeries from happening. And they got those stones out and they still have their organs. And it's not painful. I've seen golf ball size gallstones come out of people with no pain because of the way that the cleanse is orchestrated to open everything up and soften the stones before they get out. There's no rupturing. Okay. Everything gets kind of jellified, then it gets easily slides through the bile duct, gets into the digestive system, and then we poop it out just like that. So no, you likely don't need to have your organ cut out, but you need to go save your organs and get to doing maintenance on them right away.
So thank y'all again. Thank you. I'm Shauna B, Manifesta I Am, and that is Ken Newbill of Newbill of Health. in Monroe, North Carolina. Excuse me, let me get it right. Dr. Ken Newbill of Newbill of Health in Monroe, North Carolina. And so, again, y'all get on board. Let's get the cleansing and let's just get the elevating right. And so,
Let's
thank you
elevate.
again, Ken. I
And thank
appreciate
you for
you.
having me, Shauna. Have a great evening. It was good to see you.
Thank you.
All
Likewise.
right. Bye.
Bye bye.